Hello. So I'm going to try to make this one as specific as possible because there's a lot of things to talk about around the general election. Actually, later today, it's the early hours of the 12th. Um, I got a great cover of The Economist today, or a great copy of The Economist via eBay. And I'm pleased it arrived so quickly just before the election. Great cover. Check it out. Britain's nightmare before Christmas. Well, you get the idea. All the leaders there are snow people, and it's pretty witty actually. Great satire provides. It's a very important thing in democracy. Show you again. So I have Johnson there as kind of a Jack Frost type figure. Obviously Corbyn, very beaming smile of Joe Swinson. Nicola Sturgeon with the Scottish attire, and there's Farage with his trademark pint. Um, yeah, there's a very specific thing I want to talk about, and this wasn't really planned. I've just watched the interview with Hugh Grant on LBC, with James O'Brien. Now, there tends to be this knee jerk reaction when celebrities have opinions on politics, and I think that's a bit unfair, and this is why. In the end of the day, they may be prominent actors or prominent footballers or whatever, but why can't they have an opinion? They're still citizens, they're still voters. Um, I don't think it should be a case of anyone votes because of what this person thinks, but I don't agree with this knee jerk reaction that they should shut up and stick to acting or stick to whatever. I'm not a politician. I have views. So why can't they? Obviously, if it was got to the point of being like imposing those views on people and telling people how to vote, that's a different matter. But the spite against Hugh Grant, from particularly from Brexiteers, is obvious. He is not telling anyone that they are racist or they're idiots for voting for Brexit. That's not what he's saying. He's just saying his personal view is that he's very worried about the situation, and worried about the hard right Tory government we have. I have to be honest. I've respected Hugh Grant particularly since he stood up to the Murdoch Empire. Um, and put it this way, I mean, the boxer Eric Chisora was seen with, Nigel Farage, and he's been an enthusiastic supporter of Brexit. So why is that okay? Why don't Brexiteers say, "Oh, Derek Chisora should stay out of politics"? Why is it fine for him to, take a position? And I share some of Grant's views on this. One of the things he said, or he alluded to, was that Brexiteers blame the EU for all this country's problems. Now, this unfortunately will be the Brexit election, that's obvious. I think that one thing I really dislike about the hard aspect of Brexit is the purist mentality certain Brexiteers have, that unless you support a no deal Brexit, then you're a traitor or you're some sort of crazy Europhile. He described himself as a militant centrist dad, which is, I'm not saying I agree with all his positions. As far as I know, Grant supports another referendum. I'm wary of that. I'm not sure it would necessarily help matters. I know that Corbyn has suggested that if Labour win, he would go for another referendum. I'm not sure that is the way to solve this. But 3 years, this country has been in a nut mess with this thing, and part of me thinks, okay, if Johnson gets the majority, he'll get it done, and that's that. But I think Brexiteers are deluded if they think that everything's going to be fine as soon as we come out. Yes, we're a great country, but that is just utopian nonsense. Um, I don't think we're going to go over the cliff. But the fundamental Brexiteer, I mean, they're obsessed by the EU. They think that all the problems this country has can be blamed on the EU. The problems the NHS faces, the problems of Islamist terrorism, and a host of other problems have got nothing to do with the EU, or at least can't be blamed on the EU. I mean, take for example the issue of free movement of people. Brexiteers say that allows terrorists to travel around more freely, which is a fair argument, but With a no deal Brexit, then we lose cooperation with our neighbouring countries on counter-terrorism measures, which means, let's say, for the sake of argument, a French Islamist or an Islamist with French nationality or Dutch nationality comes here, it'll be more complicated in terms of deporting them and issues around that. So I think that this mentality, this purist attitude that hard leavers have, and they're getting very puritanical about it because even prominent Leave politicians have been branded not true Brexiteers. It's like a flipping witch hunt, you know. Um, it's really becoming quite intolerant on that side of it, of who is a true Brexiteer and who is not. And the whole, I mean, I don't see the point of the Brexit Party because we have a pretty obvious Brexit government right now. So for the Brexit Party to say, oh, it's not true Brexit, for Farage to keep regurgitating that, it just shows what they want is a no-deal Brexit with absolutely no ties whatsoever to the EU. It's not just a case of getting out of EU institutions. They want no ties with the EU. That's the impression I get. So, right, I get I'll probably get thumbs down for this video. So be it. That's a risk I'll just have to take. But I don't think that just because Hugh Grant is a prominent actor, he can't have his opinion. I don't think that celebrities should be made out to be more important than they are. But, you know, he's still a citizen and he's still a voter. So, and it's not like saying Hugh Grant thinks this, so you have to agree with him. People are totally free to disagree with him, dislike him, whatever. But why is it okay for celebrities who support Brexit to pontificate? If a celebrity takes a Remain position, they're deemed to be liberal elite traitors. I mean, he said himself he was somewhat seduced by some of the Brexiteer arguments. Maybe I've got personal bias here because I do respect the fact he stood up to the Murdoch empire and he was very prominent in the anti-phone hacking campaign, hacked off. So perhaps I'm biased there, but that's that.